Cortex Quantum Saturn. In the margins of the human deceptions and intrahuman, there are the rights of all the laws of men, those supermen and those inframen, where the human condition should exist to be the same humans. It is so in this perfect alignment of the souls of a simple purgatory, where it's a very complex hell of those same souls in that measure, and for that measure and other ones, it is that this cortex exists and will come, for the same facts of having to come, to go and to come many times. Saturn origin makes the specialists to begin to look for the binary information in this respect, to have an idea as other being experts in that knowledge, but always knowing that it's not anything as many organizations in the earth that they have contact with Saturn, or that they receive messages, coded or not, from there. The true thing of this is that after a very heavy and penetrating study, it can be true. Without horror has it a real value, the true thing, but before it is necessary to understand the laws of prostitution of the concept and the matter. Saturn for the quantum thing is pure, prostitution pure, that is to say the same concept puts in it diverse promiscuous states. Therefore, we don't have it stages hormonal, incidental potentials to the maximum. We cannot even dream of the understand or to be, neither in the astral one, less in the mental one, or the emotional one in Saturn. The astral letters that you know of the planets, the stars and everything in question to the relationship of the man's destination with the planets, in the case of Pluto, is the same. But in relation to Saturn is other. Like in Venus, dimensions don't exist for this. Cultivations of Saturn. All the children of all of you, all those ones that have not ended up being, if you started the power of a mission, of a simple expression, Victoriana, Nucanor, or Seminal One, or also America, this means to understand better when you in your sexual relationship, all and each one of them until the minimum one, though all our history, in the roots millions of quintillions, the same ones that are corresponding to diverse places, where you of course don't know it. Lest they will rot at least to imagine that. It is where all that is in a cultivation state. Anything has not been played of it, because it is expected that you make it, until it is as the own rights. These cultivations are in Saturn, and they continue being, and they will follow in it. It will be until a second, until when you arrive there, in the binary thing, with the binary technology. And although astrally and mentally many have arrived, no for that they have had access to the cultivation, because if they had it, they would not be, or they will be invited in the earth, so to have a better idea. It is one for a relationship, in the one which in the seminal thing, there are millions of sperms. You must know that the same ones go to the container one, and through the conduit alters, moves towards Saturn. And that supposedly will be a cultivation that impregnates or that produces the pregnancy in the women in this case. It also goes to Saturn, and what stays or leave as the fruit called man, so on, or what is, it's not nothing else than the shell or covered with the cultivation. Therefore, this is a saying that nobody that doesn't go will hope that courteous right can say that has been born or will be born, less to die. Cultivations of the man. The man that is born of a woman has not still arrived on Saturn, but one can say that the dream of a woman of being mother continues being a dream. Nevertheless, it doesn't take off that it's real for the woman's conscience, and it stops its incidental alternating immediate reality. But although the man is raised apart from the woman, what has not been known unless related with the same one. In fact, in his transitory global thought, his traffic continues for it. Therefore, any woman that is born of woman can end up having the old man's real brain. Could we say in this aspect that those cultivations are not properly in the body or the global hormonal nature of the body of the man's mind? So those cultivations are still without playing less to gestate or to germinate, less being up in a binary genetic square. That is to say, when this cortege arrives, certain circumstances could not be certain for the air, also that less needed it would be the air. It would be as only a drum of hair, where rhythms of that drum will mark the power of sound of that hair. It will be as the help that woman will request to be woman, a help of quantum power of Saturn. The man's cultivations are made of birch wax and of pine. Their very dry internal parts are, but full with the birch. They are these cultivations while waiting for disposition of matter Durna, for as much as sight of power of it has been attributed. Each birch cultivation is a protein source humera, that each power is the protein of the cultivation. It leaves important of the proteins in that entire same binary concept that you have of the proteins. It is a saying already saying of the basic knowledge of the proteins inside the binary aligning with certain power in and of that binary knowledge. Because the pine birch and the same pine, they are basic parts of the basic composition of Saturn. This although more than cultivations are unfolding of urns or cells of powers of how many without or with proteins on in an organism, but in a matter of whole we like to be able to understand the constitution of the woman and their cultivations, those that are still in Saturn. A single woman is not the same thing that several of them, because a single woman is a single woman and has always been it and will be it in the same Saturn, where it's a single woman's cultivation. There is a single woman that has all the cultivation, but not in fact in her stomach, but in her unfoldings, as we have said it, that she is the mother of all the stomaches, a vestal mother for the time, at least while the man or the woman don't ride in Saturn, but rather the cortege comes in the plans also from what year 2015 toward before, much rather toward what 2030. So in this measure of the power of that cultivation, it is to understand a single vestal virgin mother as the concept that although in the air that vestal mother cannot exist, if the same one exists in the center or in the worst interterrestrial ones of the earth, or interoceanic, or of both. The cultivation egg doesn't have consistency, neither enough weight, like to enter in a genetic linkage. We were to leave same one. So in this case, the woman's cultivation, they will be almost all in the same air. That is to say, they come from Saturn and they stay here for always, in the measure that the confederation decide. This way is that this means, and to specify that although, like it was said, the women won't already give birth to the children like they made it. Neither for if this means that they would no longer have children, but rather they should never have had them. Less if they didn't still know before being the prostitution laws. For that reason, it is neat that it's not in this case of the cultivation that they belong them, but rather they have to go by their matters and their dimensions on one hand with all men, and for the other one with all the men, being so alone a single woman in a single planet of rehearsal of cultivations. Think that still in the air, it is not the time of those times before still they have to begin, given the times of Saturn. What is a reproduction chain genetic? In fact, it's not genetic, but magnetic so long. This is as putting in a nest millions of predators where anything can be cultivated without when being born doesn't die. For those predators' hands, a binary woman spreads to give birth to, in an environment full with predators of all the levels. Therefore, beauty is that certain nations' notions or that of her articulation of kind of chain defining her kind of stomach gestation or of mine, and this you can assimilate an all genetic state. But like we have said, it's only magnetic.